Good morning, everybody. So it's about 8 o'clock. I've got the tent packed up, and now I'm about ready to head out and get some breakfast going. So, pretty good night, and I feel pretty good. Okay, so for breakfast, I'm going to have a cold weather MRE menu number 12 breakfast skillet. So, I'm looking forward to that. So, I'm going to start eating this as I just continue to pack up everything. Got another load of material heading upriver. I don't know. It looks like sand from here, but it might be small gravel. It's really hard to tell. But it's a lot, that is for sure. It went by this morning as I was waking up empty and brought a full one back up now. Pretty cool stuff. So in other exciting things, I have my breakfast skillet rehydrating. It came with instant oatmeal, strawberries and cream, some sugar cookies, and some tortillas with some jalapeno cheese, and I'm making a mess that I gotta clean up. So pretty exciting stuff. Well, I sat on this log and enjoyed a very relaxing breakfast along the river. That was really great. But now I need to get to work. Everything is packed up. I just gotta get it out of the tent and get the tent down and get moving. Okay, so it's almost 10 o'clock. I had a pretty relaxing morning. So it wasn't one where I was like running late, rushing to get everything packed. I was just moving really slow. And really, took my time and had an enjoyable morning. So I consider that a win. So it was pretty nice. Now the not nice thing is this island is mud. The last like 5 feet of it is very deep, very sticky, just nasty mud. So I need to get the boat launched without going up to my knees and, hopefully without making too big of a mess. So we'll see how this goes. Because I went over on this end, it's all mud down there, and I saw this like sand here. I'm like, perfect. And this end is all sandy. I'll just be able to walk right up. No, it's just a little bit of sand on top of the mud. So not really helpful. So it won't be the end of the world, but it is going to be annoying. Okay, that wasn't actually too bad. I've gotten a little better at that. So there's a pretty good upstream current right here. So I need to get the pedals in and start getting out into the current. Got a pretty good sized whirlpool here. Just behind some of these wing dams, there's some pretty nasty whirlpools and just water going all over the place. But I'm over here out of the main channel because there's a towboat coming up behind me with an empty barge heading down to wherever the dredge is, maybe right around the corner. So I'm just hanging out on the inside of the corner to let him go past. I didn't actually look too closely. It's actually just a towboat without anything. So that's pretty interesting. That's a first for the trip. They really push a lot of water when they're not moving barges in the front. Well, coming up is the first dredge of the trip, so that's pretty exciting. Well, luckily this dredge is shut down. I just hit a stick. And so I can get a little closer to it than I would normally would. I think the stick is stuck against my pedals. That's annoying. But there we go, it's gone. So it's got two massive cables out the front that are attached to anchors, and it just slowly pulls itself up. It's got a big like suction, I believe, arm out the front that goes in the water there and sucks up material and from the bottom. It's how they get sand and gravel out of the river and also maintain the river channel. So this is the Sandy K, and as they suck the material up here at the back, they have a big like a material sorting, and it goes through screens, and all the gravel comes out one side. On that conveyor belt they'll park a barge right there, and all the sand comes out the other side. Capital Sand Company. So it's a big old barge, that's for sure. And they just constantly replace the barges as they fill them with sand and gravel. That is pretty cool. You normally don't get to get this close to them if they're operating. You want to stay pretty far away. So this is a pretty cool opportunity. So another thing is, I'm kind of on the lookout for an opportunity to kind of recharge and restock. I'm down to about a third of my water, which is still plenty, but I would like to be able to refill it if possible. And my batteries, one of them is, the big one is drained, and the other two are down to about 30%. So I have like a day, maybe a little more of power left by the time I edit and post videos and recharge the laptop. So yeah, I need to find a spot to recharge soon. So probably going to be checking more of the boat ramps that I pass to see if there's any options. I'm not in danger of running out of power or water, but I'm starting to get a little low. So that is for sure. So one thing I forgot to mention yesterday is once I got past Call Point, is I have now turned east and I'm completely in Missouri. I left Kansas behind yesterday, and it's Missouri on both sides until St. Louis. So pretty exciting stuff. Passing by a massive quarry with some big old piles of sand, that's for sure. I just find that the massive wheel loaders just on a boat looking like a toy just really interesting. Like, that is a big machine. They're used to unload sand. They dump it in that hopper right there, and it goes over a whole bunch of conveyor belts and gets dumped into piles over there. Capital Sand Company. They have a lot of equipment on the river. Just really cool. And it's really nice to go past here when everything's shut down. It is a Sunday morning. The Elizabeth Ann. So the first big dredge is up there around the corner behind me. And in front of me is another one. But it's making noises, so it's either running or still doing something. So we'll see as I get closer. So there's a towboat with a loaded and empty barge right next to each other, just to show the height difference. And on the other side is a dredge in operation. So as I said, they've got the cables out the front attached to, I'm guessing, a big anchor, and it just winches itself up the line, and that's how it moves forward up the river, very slowly sucking up the bottom. And the back half is just a big sorting material sorter, and it sorts all the material that it sucks up and dumps all the sand into this barge here. So that's the Crystal Farley with a lot of sand on it, and the Dredge Randolph. The ones I used to see would dump water and sand onto the barges and the water would flow off, but this is just dumping purely like sand with no water. So that's really interesting. I wonder how they remove the water. And they're just slowly filling these barges up. There's a little bit of a headwind today, but it's still a absolutely beautiful day out here. Not very many clouds, and the wind isn't very strong, and is like the perfect temperature out in the sun with a little bit of wind. I am completely comfortable. So I'm just kind of slowly going down the river today. I'm not pedaling very hard. I'm a little tired from yesterday. I don't know if my legs are sore, or I'm not sure I just call them that. Maybe just fatigued. Anyways, it usually takes a couple days before your legs get sore anyways, so we'll see how I feel tomorrow. But other than that, yeah, just slowly making my way down the river. I'm really enjoying it. Well, it's just a absolutely beautiful day. There's just a slight headwind, and it's just great out here. The bugs are singing, and just a beautiful day. I don't know how to explain it. There's not really anything going on. I'm just slowly going down the river, but it's just very peaceful. So it is around noon. So I have menu 6, beef taco filling. So gonna enjoy that along with a Dr. Pepper as I just float down the river. It is just a really good day. So this is the Sibi Railroad Bridge. It was built in 1915, and it's one of the longest railroad bridges in Missouri. And below it is a massive sandbar that looks like an amazing place to camp, except for the fact that this is one of the busiest railroad bridges ever. Last time I went through here, four trains went through from the time I could see it around the last bend to when I went around the next bend, and one's already gone past and I can hear another one coming. So to actually sleep on this island would be terrible with all the trains going by. But it is a very cool bridge. So as I said, there's a really big sandbar that goes right underneath the bridge here, and it's quite large, but it would be very hard to sleep with this bridge having as much traffic as it does. So I'm seeing a lot of Amazon Prime containers and their semi-trailers just parked on flatbeds. Quite a few of them. So pretty cool. And to think this bridge was built in 1915. Absolutely amazing. And it goes on for quite a while once it gets past the river. That is just a super cool piece of history right there. And just a massive sandbar right underneath the bridge on this side too. But we're gonna keep going. It is about 1 o'clock. I'm downstream of the bridge now, but there's another train going across. This one's not quite as big. It's only got 2 engines versus the 4-engine one that went by earlier. But that's the 3rd train that's gone by since I've had this bridge in sight. It is a very active bridge. The bridge is pretty far away, but there's train number 4 going across. That is just an extremely busy bridge. I'm passing by the confluence of the Fishing River at mile marker 334. So, making fairly good time today. I'm definitely not pushing it, but still moving down the river. There's mile marker 333. There's another biplane flying over the river. I think that's like the 3rd one. Must be a little airport here, and there might be something going on, or if it's just, local owners. But pretty cool. So it's about 2:30, and I'm coming up on the town of Lexington. There's a old grain elevator here, it kind of looks like, and there is a ramp. I'm not really sure what all's here, but I do plan to stop just to check it out, because I'd like to get rid of trash, refill water, I need to charge things. I don't know if it has any of those, but there's only one way to find out. So just gonna stop by and check it out. So I'm at the river park here in Lexington, and it does not look hopeful. The boat ramp looks like it's part of the Corps of Engineers, kind of. They have like a office here, and I'm not really seeing anything. So I think I'm just gonna keep going. Yeah, there's just not that much going on. Because when I get to get to a place, I'm always looking for 4 things: a bathroom, trash, water, and an outlet, power. And I just don't think that any of those are a thing. Like, this boat ramp has a locked gate with barbed wire on it. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. Not the end of the world. I'm not in dire need yet. Just would like to top everything off. So, oh well. Well, I'm completely wrong. This is the town of Napoleon. I thought it was Lexington, but I'm not even close to Lexington actually. So, oops, I misread the map. It happens. So here's some kind of shipwreck, maybe a barge, most likely a barge, but definitely under the water right there, and there's a big old old hull of a boat up on the shore here. Kind of interesting. So it's about 3:30, and it's just an amazing day. I have just the lightest of headwinds, which is keeping me cool, and just really calm, beautiful day. Can't ask for a better day out here on the river. I'm really enjoying it out here today. Well, I'm coming up on the 3rd dredge of the day. This one looks like it's parked for the weekend, but still really cool. Well, there's the Ray Marie, I believe that's how you say it. And it's just another big old dredge. You can kind of see the dredging equipment out the front there, and the 2 massive cables leading to, I'm guessing, anchors, as I said earlier. So it's pretty cool. They're all different. This one's got a lot smaller material, like sorting. So this is one that looks like it actually pumps the water into the barges and the water flows out, because that's a big old pipe right there. But still very cool. And there's the backside. I kind of wonder if they have motors, because it's basically just built on a barge. So I don't know if it's just pushed around by their towboats or if it actually does have a motor on it. That is a big long barge with a lot of equipment on it. So one thing that you see thousands of on this trip are coolers. Just, there are so many of them scattered down this river. It's kind of crazy. None of them have lids. Most of them are damaged. But there are just coolers absolutely everywhere. I've probably seen over 50 today, would be my guess. So there's a lot of them on the river. So I've got like 2 more turns of the river before I actually get to Lexington. And it looks like the boat ramp is literally just like a parking lot along the river, and there's not much there. But hopefully there's a vault toilet and I can use that, because I'm kind of need to, and hopefully otherwise I'm just gonna have to pull over somewhere. So I'm coming up on the first buoy of the trip. So that's pretty exciting. It's a green buoy, which means it's river right descending, and it means that the channel is on the other side of it. And I'm not currently in the main channel of the river, but it's just very wide here, and apparently not very deep, because they marked a buoy to keep all the traffic up against the shore there. Commercial traffic, obviously. So, but still, really cool. I'll be seeing a bunch of them in the next couple days. So I'm starting to see these more and more, and they're going to get very popular, which are kind of bank fishing. So they're just fiberglass poles literally stuck in the rocks, and they have like a catfish bait on the end of them, and you check them once a day and see if there's any fish on them. So it's kind of what I did growing up, limb line fishing. When the trees are hanging over the river, you just tie a hook to a limb and set your bait and see if a fish finds it. But there's obviously no trees hanging over this river, so they use fiberglass poles, and they'll be scattered all over the place. Well, that was a little worrying. I think I got a stick stuck in my rudder, so no big a deal. I just pulled it up and it retracted and the stick moved on and floated away, and it's working good again. But one of my main worries is I'm going to snap the lines that run back to the rudder, and then I'm going to have to fix them. And I do have replacement line, but it is a pain in the butt to do, and I really don't want to have to do it. So I've only got some 320 miles left to the trip, so I'm really hoping it doesn't break on this last section of the trip. Just another grain facility that can load barges. This one's in Lexington, so I've just passed so many of these. Well, there's another sunken barge sticking out of the water right there. Really makes you wonder how many of them are under the water where you can't see just a little bit of it sticking above the water. Pretty interesting stuff. I don't know how well the camera can pick it up, but there's a extremely old drag line or some kind of old crane there. It's got vines and trees all over it. All you can see is two cables and just the tip of it sticking up out of the vegetation. So that is pretty cool. There's an old chunk of steel right there, covered up in those trees. Another, I believe, sand facility. I got two towboats there tied up for the weekend, and there's an excavator that feeds material into a conveyor chain that goes all the way back to the whatever, quarry or whatever it is they have up there. Capital Sand Company. So just a different layout this time. This time they use an excavator to unload rather than a wheel loader. Well, it's the Leslie Ann, and I can't see the name of the far one, but still pretty cool. Okay, I'm nearly to the boat ramp of Lexington. Well, here's the ramp. Well, they do have a dumpster, so I'm going to grab my trash real quick and get rid of that. Well, they have a vault toilet here, but there's no toilet paper, so I gotta go get some of that. And there are light poles, so there's power, but no power I can actually use, so oh well. I'm just happy to get rid of trash. Okay, I'm back with toilet paper, and yeah, I'm gonna be good tonight, but if I don't find a outlet tomorrow, I'm gonna have to stop early and set up the solar panels. So there is a good chance I'll be able to get to Miami, and hopefully there'll be something there, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm back at the boat, and I'm about to launch again and just keep heading down the river. See how far I can get tonight. Back on the water, and it's a little after 5:30, so I just plan to go until dark. Passing under the Lexington Bridge now. I'm at the mouth of Crooked Creek here, and this place is pretty cool because this is one of the places I stayed 2 years ago, and yeah, it's completely different now, and there's not even a sandbar here. So at the time there was a pretty nice little sandbar that I stayed at, but it is completely gone now. Kind of crazy. So couldn't stop there even if I wanted to, but I wasn't planning to anyways because I still got about 2 hours of light. But it's just crazy that not even an option at the moment. But that's the river. It's alive. It changes all the time. Well, there's a red buoy marking river descending left, except this one's been washed ashore. So kind of cool to see them out of the water. One thing the river's good at is destroying things. Well, today's just been an absolutely amazing day. I haven't been pedaling very hard, just kind of relaxing and going down the river, and I've really enjoyed it. There's almost no wind today, just really calm and really pretty. So, just a really good day on the river. I think I've said that a couple times, but I've really enjoyed it. Mile marker 312. So, pretty cool. So it looks like there's no showers at Miami, which is what I kind of thought, at least online. I can always double check, but I do know is some at Glasgow, which is, you know, another town further down the river, so it is an option. But hopefully I can find some power there tomorrow. We'll see. Well, this time change is really starting to eat into my paddling time. I'm going to have to start a little earlier because it's like 7:09 and the sun is just about set. So the days are definitely getting shorter. So that works out. I do need to start adjusting my sleep schedule because when I get done with this trip, I have to go back to construction, which means I can't sleep in. So I'm gonna have to start working on that before I get back because, man, it's gonna be a struggle. So yeah, definitely gonna have to make some changes because ending at 7 o'clock just seems like I'm quitting early because I used to be out pedaling till almost 9:30 at the start of the trip, and then I'd find a camping spot and set up camp. So the days are definitely getting shorter. So seeing as the sun's starting to get a little low, I'm just gonna start looking for a campsite. Hopefully there'll be a nice sandbar around one of these corners. So here's a red buoy marking river descending left side of the commercial channel, and it's pretty close to the shore here, so it's pretty shallow on the other side of that. And over here along the shore there is about a 50-foot section of like natural rock, which is pretty cool. So there's kind of a rock cliff there beside the railroad tracks. So starting to get into some bluffs, which is pretty cool. And it's just interesting to see like natural rock right along the river. It's been a long time since I've seen that. It's all been place rock by the Corps of Engineers for a very long time. Well, the sun is continuing to set and options are pretty much zero. I haven't even like skipped any like somewhat okay spots. There just aren't any in this section. So there is one spot around this next corner. Hopefully it'll work. I see on satellite images. But man, there's just not much going on here. Just very steep banks with a lot of rock on them. And that's it. Well, I'm not really seeing anything at the moment. And the kind of annoying thing is the satellite images are during the winter when the water must be extremely low because there's sandbars all over the place. But that's not the case currently. Okay, so I'm tucked in behind a wing dam here. I got around the end of it, and there's a really crappy little dirt island over here. It's probably mostly mud, but it's gonna have to work. I'm losing light, and it doesn't look like there's much up ahead, so it'll be fine. Now, the part I'm not too excited about is it's still water back here behind the wing dam, which means like that, this is where all the fish are, including Asian carp. So I'm really hoping I don't get visited by one, in the face. Well, I think this will work. As long as I can get up there without sinking to my knees. I decided to move a little bit further down to where it's a little steeper in hopes that I can get a little closer, because I was pretty far away from the shoreline over there. Okay, so I've got the boat pulled up here. I'm setting my tent up right here, And it's a good thing I'm a big guy, because it's not a whole lot of fun to pull the boat up out of the water like that. Especially when it's fully loaded, because I can't get to anything, because there's knee-deep mud right there. So luckily I was able to avoid it, but it makes for a lot of fun to pull, you know, a 500-pound boat up a 3-foot incline. But got her done. I usually have to do a couple inches at a time. So not surprisingly, but the muddy bank here is completely covered in mosquitoes, and I'm being, you know, eaten alive a little bit, so I'm trying to work pretty quickly. Okay, I'm in the tent, and yeah, it all worked out pretty well. I have Mountain House chicken fried rice. I'm going to rehydrate real quick, and then get the video edited and go to bed. So with that, I'm going to say good night. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.